Let me get to my computer, get this all set up. What's everybody up to? So, this is the last, basically, day before we actually start working, getting people to come back. So, our kickoff is where all the employees come in is Monday. So, we're going to go bowling and kind of have some games, prizes, that kind of thing. Let me actually set this up over here. How's that? Anyway, we're still running around trying to get things done. We're not as ahead as I wanted to out in the yard, but we're dang close. Dang close. I've got my 3 setups ready to go for spring wake-ups, power raking, aeration. That's ready to go, kind of. I've got the trailers with all the equipment on it, but I don't have any of the rakes and things like that. I just thought of that just now. So we'll work on that Monday morning. I should write a list of what I need them to work on, because I'm going to be working on this kickoff party that we're having Monday morning. So I just got a message. Just wanted to jump in the stream. Wish you the best this year, and thanks for all you do for the lawn care industry. God bless. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, this should be an interesting year. I think I'll be more free to hop on these lives or to take consultation calls. Not something that I'm really focused on, but doing some of these videos have led to that, and I enjoy doing it too, by the way. So yeah, I just hired a sprinkler dispatcher, which is basically what I did as my job, my main job last year here. Sorry, I'm reading a text. I'll answer this later. Anyway, so now that I hired somebody to maybe take over my duties of what I was doing last year, was basically sprinkler manager, dispatching, fine-tuning our process and systems for sprinklers. If he can do that for me, this new hire that just started yesterday, he did great on his first day, totally exceeded my expectations, was asking all the right questions, was setting his own goals of what he needs to do to get better immediately. So basically he was saying everything I wanted, I was hoping he would say. So I feel like he's going to do really good. Hey Freddie, good morning, man. Changed my big bill to YouTube account to my company name. Okay, cool. Green Cuts Property Services LLC bill. Nice. Cool. Yeah. That's cool. When I first started doing YouTube, I probably should have used my name, not the company name, because as I got bigger, I started wanting to do more marketing online, and kind of the Lawn Thumbs name might be easy for customers to find. And as you know, I like to talk about the good along with the bad of running my business. So I wonder if that's ever had any customers go on there. But then I think about it and I go, customers should hear what we go through here. at work, so it's probably fine. So that's just one thing. If you start a YouTube video channel, you may want to consider who your audience is. Right from the start, my audience never was my customers. So I don't know. I just thought I'd mention that. I've been thinking about that uh, this morning. But so, like always, I'll try and stay on here for an hour and try my best to entertain as best I can. I'll let you know what I'm doing. So I just got a new GPS system. I don't know if any of you guys know anything about GPS, but 3G is dead, gone, leaving. I think AT&T got rid of it yesterday or the day before. And so anybody that had GPS that was connected with 3G had to upgrade their devices across the whole country. So it's probably a good time to be in the GPS business right now because everybody is getting new GPS devices, including me. So I was with Bouncy. Super easy company to work with. Really good price. You had to buy your devices on Amazon, and they ranged from about $70 to $80. No, maybe a little bit more. But you can also buy the devices from other people, and that's what I did for most of my devices last year. I think I paid like 40 to 50 bucks each device. And then it's just like, I believe it was $9 or $12 per connection. And it was great. It was really, what I loved about Bouncy was that if there was a check engine light on a truck, you would get a notification on your phone, kind of like a push notification, and just show up on your screen and tell you what the code is if it was a check engine light. So if the code was low battery, it would tell you low battery. If it was something with an air filter or something, it would tell you. So that was really cool, and I appreciated that. I love that feature. So anyway, when Bouncy said they're going through a new GPS process and you have to buy new devices, I didn't want to have to buy all my devices again, brand new. Plus, I'm with Service Titan, a new software. I also use Service Autopilot. So I use Service Autopilot and Service Titan. Mainly, my Service Autopilot is for the garden and mowing maintenance services. Service Titan is for sprinkler division. And I wanted a GPS that goes in to Service Titan and to track my techs, and so the customer knows when a tech is at their house and things like that. Holmes just hopped on. Did you say Bouncy isn't working anymore? Yes. It's still a business. Bouncy is still around, but you have to upgrade your devices because they were on the 3G network with AT&T, and AT&T just discontinued 3G. So you should look into that. You're going to need to buy new devices. I went with NextTrack now. So I'm with NextTrack now. And my deal was I got all my hardwired equipment for free. But I had to sign a contract, which is fine. I was going to use a GPS anyway. And I've got it down to, I want to say $14.95 per unit. And I ended up only getting 15, even though I have 20 trucks. Because, anyway, that was a cool process for me. Because I only wanted GPS on the trucks that I knew we were going to use regularly all the time. So when I had that mentality, it really focused on who's using what. It was a really cool experience that I just had to go through, figuring out which trucks I wanted to spend the money on GPS tracking. So I ended up with 15 trucks, and those 15 trucks are going to be the main trucks that are going to be used. The other 5 are kind of estimator vehicles that we really don't need to know where they're at on an ongoing basis all day because they're going out and back in. And that was about it. And then I had 2 trucks that we haven't really used. They're just kind of in the yard for backups. and I didn't want to like spend money on, you know, having GPS and the trucks just be sitting there. So the cool thing, so NextTrack works, in my opinion, way better than Bouncy. The problem is this new software I have doesn't show, like, push the notifications of the check engine lights, which was the main feature we used with Bouncy. So that kind of sucks, but it does integrate into my software, and the software company is still in the process of integrating that. So I actually haven't seen how it works with the integration, but that's going to be really cool to be able to go to my dispatch board on my service CRM and see the trucks on there. That'll be pretty cool. So I haven't gotten that set up yet, but so yeah, the kickoff party is tomorrow, or Monday, sorry. I've gotten confirmation from about 98% of everybody. The cool thing is this year I had a lot of guys that were already working through the winter. So really it was the guys that preferred not to work in the snow that are coming back. And so I got a lot of them that have confirmed they're going to be back at the conference. I have some cool prizes, not conference, at the kickoff. I've got some cool prizes. I bought so we're gonna have a raffle, and I bought an Oculus as the main prize. I got an iWatch or an Apple Watch, a couple Bluetooth speakers, and a Siri Home, whatever that's called, speaker. So I don't know, I got some cool prizes. Also, we're gonna have some cash prizes like first, second place, and third for bowling. I love, if you're gonna have an event every year to kind of kick it off, to let everybody know, hey, the season's about to start. Think of things that are team building, that the whole, like, if all your Mo guys show up, they're together. In this case, this year we decided on bowling, and they're gonna bowl together. And then the sprinkler guys are going to bowl together, and the garden landscapers are going to bowl together, and the managers are going to bowl together. Although me and Rachel were talking about it yesterday, the managers should probably bowl with their division. So I think that's what we're going to do. But there is a big language barrier, so I don't want anybody to feel like they're left out. So we may have to switch things up when we're there. But yeah, so we've done axe throwing in the past, and so that's really cool too, axe throwing. But I think bowling's going to be more uniting, since you have to sit and wait for your turn with a bunch of people, rather than kind of like just going one at a time, and then you're going out. So I don't know. This will be interesting. So we're doing that on Monday, and we're going to have lunch. And also, that's when I have everybody sign my new policies. So you guys, it's really important to have policies every year, you know. Just let them know, hey, if you're coming back this year, these are the new policies. Let me kind of read off some of the things. So I'm changing things up this year. Now that I have somebody taking over the sprinkler dispatching, I'm going to be able to free up my time, and I want to focus on employee relationships and building the team to feel like they love this job, so they can recruit more people. I think if we have a great work job for people, I think that'll just attract better talent, and that's what I want. So my focus this year is to focus, like my job. When I come in every day, I'm going to work on a employee newsletter that will just go to the employees, and I want a way to track that, and I want to try and help everybody on my team like hit their goals in life. I don't know what that is. So I made a little sheet that I want everybody to sign when they're there. Dang it kicked me out, of course. Let me see if I can kick me out because I am on YouTube on an account and I don't have it written down. Damn it. Let me see if I can still log in. Oh well, I can't. So some of the questions are, why are you working so hard? What is your goal? And what's your reason for coming to work? That's one question. So I'm hoping that I could sit down with everybody for like 2 minutes and help answer that with them, because I want to know who's trying to buy a house, who wants to buy a car. What's up, Lipsy Hustle? Who wants to help their kid do something? I mean, I want to know what they're working so hard to do so that I can try and help them, you know, do that. And I think the more that I know about what everybody's goals are, even if I can't accomplish that, even if I can't help them get all these things, you know, if somebody says they want a house, I mean, I want to help them get the house, but they all obviously they have to do their part, and the company has to do good too. So, but I still want to know that because that's the ultimate level of achievement. I feel that I can help my employees. So, I've had 2 employees in the last 3 years buy a house. That is amazing. I just feel like that makes me feel better than anything else that we do here, because if those guys are if I've got people that can buy a house, that means we're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? That means all the things that we're working at here in the business are coming together. Because you know, when I first started, and many of you may be in the same boat or same time frame, like you're hiring people that don't have cars, right? I mean, unfortunately, you're not able to pay well, so your only way, the people that you attract may not have cars. They may need a ride to work. They may be riding the bus. I've had guys that were riding the bus to work, you know. And at the time, you know, you're still trying to grow your business. You're trying to like make sure you have a truck. You're trying to make sure the truck is working. I mean, you're spending all your money on the equipment that just broke. So I get it. It's super hard. But then as you push through and you get better, your customers are stronger. You're going to start getting employees that are going to start driving their own cars to work, believe it or not. That are eventually they're going to be buying better cars, and then at one point you're going to look at a parking lot where all your cars are parked, and they're going to be nice cars. They may not be the best, you know. Obviously, you know, they're not going to be Ferraris and things like that, but they're going to be nice, new, reliable cars, and that's a beautiful sight. I loved when I was getting to that point where we were either hiring people that had nice cars, or they were buying nice. The employees were buying nice cars. Like that. That was the start of like, oh wow, that's when you know you're doing pretty good. Joker, hey, how you doing, Freddie? I'm good. How are you? Saturday, season's about to start. I'm in Utah, and it snowed like crazy this week. Crazy, crazy. We had four events, and my guys were dead tired. And unfortunately, I pushed 2 of them to keep working in the yard because it didn't snow yesterday, and they were dead tired. But they helped me out. And if those guys are listening, I'm sorry that I pushed you like that, but thank you for your hard work, and I appreciate that you did that because you know it's just helping us get stronger and better. So anyway, so once everybody, like I got through the phase of everybody having cars and coming to work, you know, with reliable vehicles, and you know, the next thing is I had an employee that his goal was to become an American citizen. Okay, he was here on a visa because his wife was here for school, so he was allowed to work and everything, but he wasn't an American citizen. So All right, let me answer your question, Joker, here in a second, but let me finish this thought before I forget. So this guy, his goal was to become an American citizen. So one of his big goals was he had to keep paying these lawyers. And I was involved with it. I wasn't the one necessarily calling up, or I didn't call or anything to anybody, but I was up to date with his process, and and I was able to work with him, and he was able to work. He deserved it all that he did to get it, but he became an American citizen, and that just, like, seriously, like, just one of the best, like, feelings as an owner that you can have, that you help somebody get this, what he may have seen, what this person may have seen impossible, achieve because he helped you with your business. So those are the kind of measuring things that I'm looking for this year to kind of gauge our success as a company and as me. So the better the employees do, the stronger we're going to be. All right, so quick question. We're considering using Bouncy. Was there any issues with it? No, I really like Bouncy. I like that they don't have any contracts. They're a pretty good price. To be honest with you, they're not. It's not the most accurate. It's not the most accurate GPS. Like, even when I before I used a hardwired GPS, I use hardwired GPS now. With Bouncy, I don't know if they have hardwired or not. I know they have the plugins that they work great. It's easy. The problem is they can be taken off. Okay, so your employees, if they're really, really trying to get away with things, they can just unplug it, and really, you may get a notification, you may not. That's how unreliable the notifications are for Bouncy. The one thing that Bouncy is really reliable for is that it will immediately alert you if there's a check engine light or the battery's going down. That I never had an issue with. And usually the codes on the check engine lights were right. So I love that feature. If you were considering going to another GPS provider, I would look into, do they really have check engine notification? Because that was a really thing that was awesome, and I didn't realize how awesome it was until I now have another software that's GPS. It actually may not be that much more expensive, but it doesn't have the check engine notifications, and I'm locked into a contract. But I'm still good because I like the software that I'm with, NextTrack. NextTrack is actually really awesome. Just so you know, you can also add jobs to that. That could be like your CRM, instead of doing like spreadsheets. Those of you that are still doing spreadsheets for going from job to job, you may want, and if you're interested in also having GPS, NextTrack, you can actually add your jobs on there and kind of, I think might even be able to take payments on there too. I'm not 100% sure on that, but when I first started, I thought, while I'm looking into my new NextTrack GPS, I thought that would be something I would have done early on. All right, we were considering Verizon's GPS tracking. It was about $80 a month for 2 trucks, 2 trailers, I believe. So 4 vehicles, I think that's expensive, man. That's really expensive, almost too expensive. I would say don't do that. That's too expensive. I think you should be somewhere around 10 to 15 bucks a unit. Now, maybe that actually, so see, that's a little too much more, but I don't know what else you're getting with that. I mean, there's some GPS services that will also like have cameras in the vehicle and outside of the vehicles. So I don't know if that considers that, but the ones that I have don't have that. So let's see. It had a lot of awesome information. Ultimately, it's all about, what works for you. If it's with Verizon and it's easy for you to make the payments since you're already making cell phone payments with them, that may be something to look into. Sadly, I'm at the point where I'm using I liked when I was smaller, I liked to keep everything together. So that would be a benefit that I would have liked, is that I'm already making this payment every month to this company. I can just, now I can add this service on there. I'm at the point now where I just kind of I'm looking for value, and that means going different places, and that's so I have like two routing softwares now. I have a GPS, but I am trying to integrate it with my software, so that's going to be good. Freddie, just wanted to give a big thanks for the info you give about how you run your business. Lots of learn through and compare. Lots to glean through and compare. Sorry. Awesome. Yeah, very expensive. But once I heard the price, it was too much. Yeah, it's pretty expensive, I would say. And then really think about which vehicle you really need GPS. So when I was with Bouncy, I basically got a GPS for every single vehicle, 20 vehicles, and a lot of times the trucks were just sitting there. I really didn't need the GPS. I just thought it was cool. But and the other problem with Bouncy is that a lot of times they'll be unplugged and they'll plug back in, but it won't refresh. It'll stay like it's plugged in 3 miles away, even though it's in the yard. So I don't think Bouncy is super reliable as far as finding out where your vehicles are. So anyway, what's really funny is like there's all these GPS companies, they don't even know each other. Like when I was calling around, I called around like 6 different GPS companies because they all were integrated with Service Titan that I'm going to be using for sprinklers, and nobody knew who Bouncy was. I thought that was kind of interesting. But I want to be able to track trailers if they get stolen. Yeah, I would look into cheaper. I would look into cheaper options for tracking. I don't know, those little Apple pods. I don't know what they're called. I would look into figuring out a way to clip one of those on. I think if somebody was really like dead set on stealing a trailer, I think they would figure out how to find and take off the GPS, to be honest with you. But having that peace of mind is great. But yeah, they're called Apple AirTags, but I think they need an Apple phone to bounce off of. Got it. Yeah, probably. I still think that would be a cheaper option and something that you might want to consider, something like that for a trailer. I mean, I don't know. Like it depends on how often you use your trailer. Like is it like and also if you live in an area or your shop is in an area that's really bad. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I did consider putting it on my Bobcat, but I just didn't because we don't really leave it anywhere. We always bring it back and lock it up. So, but I get where you're coming from for sure. It's just kind of personal preference, I guess. I just feel like as you grow, so like I had 20 GPS on all my trucks. I mean, 20 for all my trucks. Bouncy was pretty cheap, so it didn't really make a difference, but it kind of did. It's still wasteful for the vehicles that weren't being used. So when I had to go with another software GPS provider that had a contract, it made me really be mindful of which ones I wanted GPS tracking on. And so it really caused me to think how wasteful I was before. But anyway, I'm just paranoid. I don't have a shop yet, but we will need a space soon. So how many customers do you have, Joker? And I don't know, where are you out of also? Just curious. Oh, like New York? It's very condensed, so there's so many people all over the place. You never know. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And another thing too, if you're priced right, I seem to kind of I've seen a lot, and I've seen and talked to so many lawn care people. Like, really, the price is hardly ever right. You know what I mean? So I would say if you were priced right and you knew you were priced right by, spreadsheets that tell you if you're priced right or not. And if you were a really good math kind of person and you knew for a fact you were profitable with your prices, get what you got to do. Get what you get it. You know, like put GPS on everything. But from my experience, I've seen a lot of people. They're not priced right. They're not making any money. They don't know they're not making any money because there is money coming through, but maybe their operations card is always maxed out, never replenishing. Maybe, you know, those are the things you need to look for if you're not looking at spreadsheets and entering your numbers the way you should. If everything is overflowing, that's when you know everything's good. So I know I'm kind of going off on my own thing, but it's basically what I'm saying is don't take my advice if you can afford it. Like, if you can afford it, then do what you got to do. But if you can't, you may want to listen to me a little bit. Currently 100 weeklies. Oh, nice. We're looking to hit about 200. Running out of spots for trucks and trailers. To be honest, parents' house, my house. Gotcha. Yeah, that's actually, I'm pretty impressed that you're still running out of a house with 100 weeklies, because I'm sure you're doing more work than just that. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, you're gonna need a shop soon. You know what's funny? You know what made me get a new shop was I was already looking for shops. I was at about 100. No, I was at 90 weeklies, and so my employees were parking in front of my house every day. And one of my employees parked in front of the driveway, like from the street. You know, they just blocked the driveway. So my wife couldn't get out to go to work. And I couldn't believe it. I wasn't there. I left earlier, but another crew came, and that's where they decided to park. And my wife was like, dude, something's got to give. And I was like, yeah, this is getting pretty bad. So that's what made me move into my first shop. And luckily I got that shop that I used to do my videos out of. And that was amazing place. So I was there from like 150,000. Actually, it was probably more than that. It was more like 250,000 is when I moved into my shop. And I was there until I hit 1 million. And even then was too small. It was probably good for about 500 or 600,000. But then there was too many trucks and neighbors were all mad, and the city started to try to find me for every little tiny thing because they were just getting so much pressure from the neighborhood. And I just had to leave. It was too small, so I needed to find a place anyway. But have an accounting degree, so I'm numbers guy. Nice. Just like hearing other people's point of view. Yeah, my dad isn't too happy with the trucks, trailers at my house either. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you gotta find a spot, but yeah, and it is really nice to have employees come to a shop rather than your house. It makes them feel more secure that this is a real business, a place that they can meet, like show up early and not feel weirded out that they're at your house. You can have better meetings with people. It's just better if you had your own shop, but I know at some point you got to get there. I say you should be moving out of your shop when you're just under 200,000. That's a good time to start moving out in revenue. So we have this nice shop, and I believe, so we were at 1.5 last year, but I believe somewhere around 2 million, maybe 2.5 actually. We may need to start figuring something else out, because the employee parking lot gets full. And that's the thing that I never really thought about. When I need a shop, like when I was first trying to find a shop, I didn't realize that it was going to be because the employee parking that was the problem. I was always like, it's because of my trucks, how many trucks I would have. But no, it basically comes down to where the employees are going to park. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of texts. Let me just answer somebody really quick. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. The rent is the biggest issue. Yeah, everyone wants 4K a month, not for not even a yard atmosphere. It's more like a small one bay connected to a big industrial building. Yeah, yeah, and regular parking spots. Yeah, one of my first shops that I was gonna move into was exactly what you're saying. One of those big, kind of like almost like a storage unit, but it was businesses, and kind of like a big shared parking lot that just ran parallel to the building. And I was gonna do it, man. I was gonna do it because it was clean. The garage was super clean and new, and the building was awesome. Everything was like insulated for good heating and air. And I was gonna do it, and a big huge deposit, and it was only gonna be like $1,300 a month, so or maybe 15. It wasn't that bad of a price. But then I found my shop, and it had like its own little garage parking lot with a garage and a shop and another 2 rooms in there. I got lucky in that place. Um, so you should always be looking. You should always be looking, like right now, every day. Just look in those classifieds, shop, warehouse, something like that. Kurt, nice chair. Yeah. These are those Costco chairs. I bought 3 of them for the office, and they're really comfortable. Um, yeah, 4,000 a month. That's too much. So somebody told me, and I don't know if Travis is still here from Homes Lawn and Pest. By the way, man, that guy is a freaking beast, man. Him and a few other guys I know, they're freaking they're so awesome. So much to learn from those guys. What I was gonna say was I think I heard Travis say one time your your rent, especially at the early stages of your business, should be somewhere around 3%. Am I right, Travis, if you're still there? So 3% of your total revenue, if you found a place that was that much, that would be good. Um, so that's something to think about. Um, Obviously, when you get bigger, a lot bigger, like 3% actually is a lot, like a lot of money. So I don't know how it changes, but I think you can do some numbers and figure that out. But anyway, that's a good starting place. Is I think 3 to 4% of what your revenue is. If you can pay that for your monthly rent, that's good. Or so if 3% is, let's just say $20,000, actually more like 15. You want to divide that by 12. So you should be finding a place that's $1,250. Now I've had somebody ask me in the past too, like, well, does that include like the utilities and things? Nah, just the rent. You know, I'm a big fan of being able to pay for things separately, right? So like paying the rent today and then pay the utilities like in 2 weeks or a week. I'm a big fan of that kind of thing. But yeah, the other thing is like when I was looking for a place because we were too big at the other shop, I did get creative actually. There was an empty lot on that same across the street from my shop, empty lot, and I did some research and I found the owner of it, and I met with him in front of his property, and I said, if you let me level it out so I could park my trucks there, it won't cost you nothing for me to level it out. I mean, it looked like a jungle. The ground was way uneven. Like you couldn't do anything on there. It was too uneven. There were a bunch of tree stumps. Like it was a mess. You know, just imagine a yard that people used, like somebody used to like throw some dirt piles, and then the dirt piles became part of the yard, and it was just a mess. So what I was able to do was I convinced that guy to let me level it on my dime, and I used all my connections to help me dump it for free. Basically, we dumped, uh, I don't know, 100 loads for free, and that would have cost like, I think I did the math on that. It would have been like $10,000 dumping, just dumping. Anyway, I did it all, and we got it so smooth and nice and level, and we were parking our trucks there. Guess what? The city came along because the neighbors were still pissed off at me, saying that it was illegal to park there, even though I had permission, because of code. It was in a residential neighborhood. It needed to have grass, concrete, parking lot, and trees. And I was just like, you're out of your mind. So they literally gave me a cease and desist where I couldn't park there. And but it was, so I did get creative. So that was one option that I did there, and then that fell through, and I paid for all of that, which again I used all my connections. So it really, I think total it only costed me less than $3,000, but that whole project with everything, including the operator driving it, would have normally run like $25,000 to do that whole job. So basically, that guy got that for free because I couldn't park there even after it was all done. So we did park there for like a month or two, and it was great. It was great. I believe 12 cars were able to park there, so that was cool. But anyway, once I got kicked out of there, I went across the street on the other side, and there was an old, like, I guess it was like a dentist style plaza building that had just a ton of parking in the back, and it was double, like there was 2 layers of parking. And I got a hold of the building owner, and I said, let me rent out some parking spots. And he was like, that's interesting. I never thought of doing that. And I said, dude, I'll rent out 20 parking spots for this much a month. And it was during COVID, so the parking lots were freaking empty anyway, because everybody's working from home. So we signed a lease, and I was able to park. The employees were able to park there. There was a little bit more walking, but it wasn't that bad at all. So you got to get creative. You have to figure out ways to get creative. And then I found this place, like maybe 3 months after I signed a lease for the parking. And I went to the owner and I said, look, man, I know I signed a lease, but I found a better opportunity building for me, and I got to go. And the guy let me out my lease, and I always appreciated that. So one guy wants to charge $150 a truck and trailer, and I told, okay, maybe I'm skipping. The other issues I have big time is zoning. Everyone is getting fined. Yep, I know about that because nothing is zoned industrial. Yep, that's true. That is true. One guy wanted to charge us $150 per truck and $150 per trailer. Is that monthly? Because if so, I mean, that's not too bad, you know? But again, I don't know the whole situation, but like I said, I had to pay I basically leased out 20 parking lots or 20 parking spots, and I still had rules. I wasn't allowed to park a trailer in there. I could only park truck and cars. That was it. So no trailers, which was fine. So I parked all the trailers at my house, or sorry, at the shop, and it worked out great while it lasted. Um, $300 a month for a truck and trailer, and he had all these stupid, annoying rules. Yeah, um, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you got to keep looking, keep looking. You know, I would also look at. I know like everything needs to be zoned, but I would also look into renting a house that has a good, maybe a backyard that you can drive to. Um, you know, and use that as your shop. That's what the person did here before I moved in, and they had a great relationship, and they ended up zoning this property commercial. So, because the owner realized that he can make more money renting it out to businesses than to families. So, so that's something to look into. I know it's going to require a little bit more work, but gotta when you're looking for a place, man, you got to do whatever it takes. You got to find creative ways to grow. Things are getting so expensive. Housing is expensive. Um, and it just gets more expensive. So the earlier you get in, the better, you know. So let's see. Anybody have any other questions here? I'm trying to keep these an hour long. Got about 10 minutes. Um, I've got to just do some books today, categorizing things, and then also work on my document for the kickoff tomorrow. No, sorry, Monday. And that should be really exciting. So, I don't know if I said this on the last live, but I just spent $34,000 on equipment. Um, and it basically took me 2 weeks to do all the research I could to get the best prices possible. When you have that much in cash, you can kind of, a lot of those equipment companies have deals if you just buy more of them, right? So, like with Toro, if you buy two grandstands, you're now in their fleet pricing, and you save like almost $2,000 a grandstand. So I bought two of those. I actually bought a Ferris this year, 36-inch stand-on Ferris. I'm really excited about that. Um, I really think that's gonna be awesome. And I know about the Ferris because we did a review on it this year. And one of the key factors that I bought the Ferris was that the 36-inch has the same engine as the 48-inch mower, and that's just powerful. So I just thought I got to get that. And the Toros just got a good deal on them, and they're good mowers. Everybody knows how to use them. So, do I have any opinions on Wright Standers versus Toro grandstands? I really don't. I know Kurt, who texted me today. He maybe if you want to jump in and answer that question on how good your Wright Standers are. I actually considered it this year. So when I went to my dealer and I said, "Hey, I'm actually interested in the standards because of how compact they are. I'm really trying to make it so that the guys have more room in the trailers." And so we were looking into it, and it wasn't any more like I wasn't really getting a deal buying standards. So that's my only reason why I didn't get it. But when I bought the Toros, I was getting discounted pricing on new Toros, so that's why I did that. But I have a friend named Kurt who uses those Wright Standards, and he loves them. I actually called him to ask him if he wanted to sell me one, and I don't know what. Well, he must have said no because I would have bought it, right, Kurt? If you're listening still. But yeah, so just use. I don't know of a stand-on mower that's bad. You know, um, Standers, the grandstand, the Ferris stand-on, all good mowers, man. And people will say good things about one mower and hate another mower, and then another person will say the opposite. You know what I mean? So at this point, um, my guys, they'll work with whatever I give them because they know it's better than using a push mower. So that was one of the best things I did without actually realizing what I was doing was last season when I purchased this company here at this location, and I inherited all of the workers that wanted to stay with me. We started with little mowers that whole year. Or sorry, it wasn't the whole year. It was just the beginning of spring. We used little mowers only because I thought that was going to be financially smart to do. The problem is the workers were getting their ass kicked, and they were morale was not where I wanted it to be. So I ended up starting to get grandstands last year, but because I did that, they really appreciate the hell out of all the grandstands I bring in. They really appreciate it. Nobody complains about the grandstands because they're just happy that they have them. So I think that's going to be mostly the case too. The other thing I look for when I buy mower, a big mower like purchase like that, is I want to make sure that the dealer that I'm going to take it to get it fixed will be ready to use to have all the parts, and they're familiar with the mowers. So that's one of the things that I'm always looking towards when I'm buying new equipment. What's up, Princess Cut? Lawn Care. What up, man? Um, so let's see. I didn't hear. Do you have any employee handbooks? Yes and no. I do have handbooks, but I stopped giving them out because they're kind of outdated. But I was this close, and I'm still in the process of considering buying the 7 Power Contractor from I forgot the guy's name. But anyway, there's 2 packages. One's $3,400. The other one's $9,500. But the $9,500 one will give you all the handbooks that you need, all the manuals, and things like that. And I think that's something that I really want to consider. But I'm still kind of like, obviously it's a big price tag, right? And more so than that is all his manuals and things like that. They don't cover landscaping. So what I'd have to do is buy one that's similar to sprinkler repairs, is what I would probably look for, and have to edit it myself. So it's going to require a lot of time for me to do. But the guy's name is Levi, or let me look it up. 7 Power Contractor. Let's see, what is this guy's name? Al Levi. He said that if I did it, he would potentially work with me to build it out for sprinklers. That way we can offer it to other sprinkler contractors or landscapers. So I'm kind of I'm interested in that, but that's going to require a lot of time. And if I do that, I want to be able to commit to him that I'm willing to do that so that I can have the commitment from him to help me do it too. So I'm not sure if that's going to be something I'm going to do right away, especially because I just spent a bunch of money. Spent $34,000 on equipment. That's just on the mowing equipment, the mowers and things like that. I mean, that's not including all the money I spent fixing the trucks, fab work on them, paying for all the employees all winter. It was crazy. Ready to start the season? Me? Hell yeah, I'm ready. We start Tuesday. Tuesday, we officially have people doing garden work, starting the hedge trimmers and things like that. Potentially, we're supposed to be doing power raking and aerating starting on Tuesday. But we just had a huge storm this week. 4 storms came through, and so I'm feeling like people may think it's too early because it just snowed like crazy last week or this week. So we'll see how it goes. Although I did just get an email from a customer that said, "There's no snow on my yard whatsoever. I'm ready for work to be done." So if that lets you know too that people are getting excited as well, yeah, there's that. What's up, Michael? Quiet Lawn Care. What up? Let's see here. Wanted to, I want to be able to provide something to employees to kind of understand how things work without them forgetting everything I say verbally. Yeah. So, one of the things that I've been doing this year is I've been doing a lot of videos. And I don't know if anybody has heard of Automate Motivate, but I'm now using that software app primarily, exclusively for training videos. So that's one thing we're going to mention at the kickoff meeting Monday. And we're doing everything training. I mean, I'm doing a video. We just did a video on how to put string on a trimmer, how to put, if the cap needs to be replaced, how to change the blade on the edger. Basically, we're doing a video on every single thing, including how to weed a garden bed, a flower bed, how to prune roses. I mean, we've got videos on everything, and we're putting it on that app. And that's going to be the way we show people how to do things. Obviously, that's just going to be the first step of showing people how to train them on these things. Then we're going to show them at the property, things like that. So nice. We still we still have snow on the ground. Yeah, me too. I did a video yesterday on for marketing for snow because it's really hard for me to get a snow video done for marketing because I've got to find the guys that are actually out working, and I've got to shoot a video, B-roll of it, and then I've got to talk, and there's got to be snow behind me. It's just kind of hard, but I think I finally got all the footage I needed yesterday, and that should be. I sent it to my video editor yesterday, who was Ty. He was on one of those lives that I had here, and he introduced himself, I think, to you guys. So I said, here's the B-roll, and here's my video, and here's the microphone of me talking about the video, about the service. Please knock it out the park. So I'm hoping that we'll have that video for next year. I mean, we'll get it done soon, and then I'll be able to market it next year. So it's a great idea with the training. Yeah. We'll just see if it works. So Michael, what I want to do this year is hire new people that have no experience. I'm not looking for anybody with experience because I've already tried like hell to do that last year. This year, I'm just going to look for people with good attitudes and try and train them from the start. I mean, we have the people, the experience, the work. Why not? Why not train the people how we want them right from the start? So that means hiring people with no experience. This is what I'm going to try and do this year. So we'll see. That's awesome, dude. Good money in corporate training videos. Yeah, I don't know about that. By the way, I want to thank George with Princess Cut Lawn Care for helping me out with some of these video ideas with the microphone. That was just a huge thing that I started doing, and it's almost like I can't believe my video audio quality was so bad in the past because I never had a good microphone. So thank you for that. I don't have it now, which I probably should. I don't know if that would work with the live feed, probably. But yeah, so anyway, I appreciate George for what you're doing too out there. Quiet Lawn Care. I totally agree. Attitude is the most important thing in hiring and simplifying services to reduce the learning curve. Yeah, totally. So, one thing I do also during these kickoffs that we're having on Monday, where all the employees are coming back for the year, is they're allowed to bring anybody and all the people they want to work here. That's the day we'll just hire them just because you brought them in. So we do that every year, and I should be reminding my people this. It's not something I mentioned it in the initial text, and they should know that from what we did last year. But I think I really need to remind them that, hey, this is the time you got to bring people that you want to work here, and they're going to get hired as long as you bring them in. I appreciate it, brother. Anytime. Oh, one last thing about George, man. I actually reached out to him, and he was like, dude, let's do a FaceTime right now, and I'll show you how to do this. And he actually took the time and just focused on my little issue that I had, and I just so appreciate it. So again, last time, thank you, George. Appreciate everything you do. All right, Michael, Quiet Lawn Care. Did you get the trucks already? Almost. Close. We're close. It did. The days that we couldn't work on the trucks was the days that we were out plowing snow, and just couldn't get them 100%. But we're so damn close to getting them all done. So we finally got a way to do the paint the pink, the backs of the cages pink, that are pink. We're gonna paint them black, and we haven't started doing that, but I think those will all be done by the end of the month. So all my mow trucks will still be sitting here for a month while we're doing spring wake up packages, power raking and aerations. Those use another vehicle because of all the thatch that we've got to take with them, and those get a trailer pulled too. So I have a month still to work on things, and I think at this point we're in really good shape. All my mow trucks, I could say, are ready to go on the property if we needed to, for sure. I think some of the batteries need to be replaced, or it's just so damn cold that some of them need a jump start in the morning. The sprinkler trucks are ready to go, but we've got some time for that. And the garden trucks. So I've got 4 garden trucks. I basically had some guys come in yesterday that were dead tired from plowing 4 days in a row. And I was like, guys, I know you're going to hate me, but I need this damn cage put on this garden bed truck today so that they're ready to go on Tuesday or even on Monday to show everybody that it's ready. They've got it on the truck, and they've got 2 bolts on, but they're missing 2 bolts. So we still got to do that in. There's a lot of tweaking. I just spent $1,000 last night on, what do they call those? Trailer racks? Trailerracks.com. I've got a bunch of, I bought a bunch of racks just for that truck. Basically spent $1,000 on racks just for that truck. So we gotta bolt those on as soon as possible. Like as soon as they get here, we're gonna start good to work. So there's still some work to do, but we're damn close. Damn close. I'm also buying my second dump trailer. So I know on a few live videos before I was saying that I was gonna make my own dump beds. The problem that we decided with that was, so we stopped that idea. We shut it down because the problem is getting the material up to the trucks, not down, right? So yeah, it sounds awesome to have a dump bed to be able to dump the debris into the waste and the green waste, but, or even if we get rocks poured onto the back and then we go to a job, it's really easy to dump it. But what if we have to take all those heavy things and put them on the truck? That was the problem, where it was like, damn, if we had a ramp, it would be too high of a ramp, and it just wouldn't be easy to carry that. So we just thought, let's just get a dump trailer. And we'll just pull a dump trailer. That way we can get up it easy, down it easy, and it still works the way it's supposed to. So that is what we ended up doing, and we're still in the process of making the purchase of the second dump trailer, but I pretty much have an agreement with somebody, a verbal agreement, that I'm going to buy it from him, and hopefully that goes through. It's going to be really expensive, but it's going to be worth it. I've been listening to an audiobook from Alex Hormozi called $1 Million Offer. I highly recommend it. It really hits home with what you and I have talked about with pricing and profitability. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find that book. So I spoke with Michael from Quiet Lawn Care quite a bit this year. I think from the end of from the I don't know, summer to winter, middle of winter or something. Talked about so many things, man. And that's what we do with the $99 join membership. If if you're on that, dude, we'll talk about whatever you need. And I learned things too. Like I learned a lot from Michael. Some of the things that, uh, first of all, I'm just fascinated by the fact that, Michael from Quiet Lawn Care. Hopefully that's okay. I'm talking about you're posting on my YouTube, so I figure it's okay. Um, I'm fascinated that all his equipment is electric. Like I'm just like I know that that's going to be the future someday. Once the equipment is strong enough and everybody in the world knows it's reliable, it's going to be the future. The equipment's quiet, it just works. I was in the Arborist Apprentice program. Um, it's a 2-year program. I graduated from that, and all of the instructors that were arborists, certified arborists, all use electric chainsaws for residentials. It's just the way to go. And the we've all I'm sure all worked with chainsaws, and they're kind of a pain in the butt. But I got a good taste of what electric equipment is like with chainsaws because they're just the chainsaws were just so reliable. They just work. You just press the trigger and it just works. Um, the only thing is with chainsaws, you got to be careful. Is that like if you're cutting trees up high, like nobody hears you down below. You got to make sure people know what you're doing. Joker says, I don't know how they think they can mow with electric mowers and blowers currently. They do it, man. They do it. And they do it good. So, you know, I think that's most of our mentality is thinking that it can't really be done but if that's your, like Michael at Quiet Lawn Care, like his thing is that's his business is he does electric mowing. And so he trains all his people on how to do it. And that's what they know, right? So it just works. Too expensive, too many batteries. If you forget to charge, you're effed. Gas stations are everywhere. Hey, I agree with you, but that's the beauty of having your business is doing it the way you want to do it. You know what I mean? Um, but again, it's his business and he sets it up so it works. So he's got battery chargers in all his cars, and that's his thing. And I really think that in the future, I don't know how many years from now, but like 10 years from now, I think most companies are going to have all electric stuff. I mean, I never actually thought about it like I am right now, but 10 years ago is when I saw no, it was 12 years ago I saw my first electric mower that a customer was using, and they were plugging it in with an extension cord, mowing their lawn. The problem with him was he had to mow his lawn every 2 days, or else the mower wasn't strong enough. So then he would call me to mow his lawn, and that was 12 years ago. Whenever I needed to mow somebody's lawn, as long as they were paying me, I would go do it. I didn't care if it was an on-call thing or not. And so I got a good taste of what electric mowers were back then, and they weren't very strong. But fast forward now, 10, 12 years later, they're now sit-down electric mowers. And, like in 12 years, they've gone from that plug-in extension cord, I think it was a Husqvarna, to now, a sit-down mower. What is it going to be 12 years from now? So I feel like it's coming. And gas prices shooting up too, man. It's crazy. But hey, I like gas mowing. I like the whole thing about it. So um, until the electric versions start, the pros outweigh the gas, then I'll do it. But for now, I'm all about gas. And I think I will be for a long time. But it is something that's coming. Anyway, it's been an hour. Um, any last questions or anything that's interesting out there in the green industry that I may not know? Let's see. Before I go, I just want to mention what are some channels you guys are watching um, that that you watch to kind of learn or be entertained for? Do you still use Service Autopilot? Yes, I do. I also just signed up with Service Titan for the sprinkler division. So I have a really good appreciation for how good Service Autopilot is. It is amazing. And I always knew it was amazing, but using another software that's like 300 times more expensive, Service Autopilot is freaking amazing. My trip to Florida was outstanding. It was awesome. Me and my family, we rented an Airbnb, and it was just a giant, nice house, and we did the whole Disney thing. I got to visit my mom and sister who live out there, and it was just amazing. It was a great week. It was really awesome too. I rarely thought about work, although the first 2 days I was keeping in contact with like the cameras so I can make sure it's not snowing because we're 2 hours. It was 2 hours earlier in Florida, so when I woke up at 6, it was still 4 here, and I could see if there was snow on the ground so I can alert the guys. But after day 2, I forgot, and I just kind of enjoyed my time out there with my family, and it was great. Everything was great, just like I knew it would be when I got back. Things were running smoothly, so it was amazing. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Service Autopilot. So I use Service Autopilot for mowing and garden maintenance. So now it's kind of annoying that we have to use two softwares to to kind of do things with the sprinkler. So my thought process with getting Service Titan was that, first of all, Service Titan is what all the 150 million, 20 million, 5, $10 million companies are using. But obviously they're not in landscaping, you know, or some are probably, I'm sure. But mostly it's like HVAC companies, electric companies, plumbing companies. But I wanted to kind of set up my sprinkler division kind of like that anyway. So that's why I chose to go with Service Titan for sprinkler techs. And I think so far it's been a great choice. Service Autopilot is designed for you to tell your techs where they're going and what they're doing. All the tech has to do is start and stop job for Service Autopilot, so it works fantastic. And it's made for reoccurring services. So you program it so that every week the services are where they're supposed to be and who does them. Service Titan is designed for the tech to tell the office what they're doing. So it's a little backwards. So it's designed for the tech to get to the property and tell the customer, "Oh, this is what your issue is, and here are your options to tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it. You got to pick these estimates." And that's going to help our sprinkler division, because those of you that do sprinklers know that sometimes you'll go do a fix, and then the homeowner may ask you to do something else and then complain about the price later on. Well, this should completely eliminate that, because they're signing and know exactly what the tech is doing, and the tech has the ability to like make changes to the order. Whereas Service Autopilot, you can do that too for sure, but it takes a really savvy person to do it right consistently. Whereas Service Titan, it's just kind of like you're pressing pictures basically, and it works really great. So the cool thing about Service Titan is you can have as many office people on there, and it's free. You're only paying for the techs. But the problem is each tech is like $250. So, and it doesn't really do reoccurring services. Doesn't really do reoccurring services. Oh, sorry, I got some messages here and I didn't see them. I'm glad to hear it. Disney is a great family trip. Yeah, it was great. I think I'm done with Disney though. I think I've had. Oh, the cool thing about Disney. So the first day we went to Disney, it was great. Um, but we had to wear a face mask every time we went inside a building or a ride or the monorail. The second day, the face mask ban was lifted. It was gone. We only had to wear the mask the one day. The rest of the days, there was no mask, even in the rides and everything. And a lot of the employees weren't wearing them either. So it was really cool. So now is a good time. Um, but yeah, I think I'm done with Disney. It's like I would rather go on a fishing trip for a vacation, go to the beach, or just relax at a nice resort. That's where I would rather do that than go to Disney at this point. I've been to Disney 3 times in the last 5 years. I think I'm done with it. Obviously, if you had smaller kids, that's a different thing. But I was just talking to my son because I'm going to go visit my mom and sister again in Florida and in May. And I said to my son, let's go and we'll go fishing when we go because it'll just be me and him. And he's like, that's what I'd rather do if I'm in Florida. And I said, yeah, me too. So let's go do that. So anyway, but yeah, obviously if you have little kids, Disney is freaking amazing. It's fun no matter what, but I'd rather go to Hawaii like I did 2 years ago. The only thing is that face mask ban, man. I don't want to wear a face mask in Hawaii, dude. I'd rather wait till the end of time when the masks are not a problem in Hawaii than go right now. But I want to go to Hawaii. Yeah, I don't want to know. You don't even want to ask how much Disney trip costs. The kids keep asking. Well, so I will tell you, I spent close to $17,000 on this trip, but that's including everything. That's everything, including first class tickets to get there for my family because I just wanted to have a great time, and we did. So mission accomplished. Which the funny thing is, the plane cost was was one of the biggest expenses of the whole trip, just so you know. But I feel like it was worth it. It was worth it. Um, the food in the parks were out of control. Yeah, so it was about $300, averaged about $300 a dinner. But the food, we went to this Mexican place inside of Epcot Center where there's that Mayan building or whatever. That was the best tacos I've ever had in my life. It was ribeye tacos, and it was so good. Like to the point where I wanted to go there every day, but my family didn't. Um, I did have one of my stepkids wanted to go there every day as well, but the other family that was with us said they would go somewhere else, and I didn't want us to split up. So we basically just went to dinner at different places. But I could have eaten there every single night. It was that freaking good. Um, let's see. Mike Andes for learning. Brian's lawn maintenance for entertaining. Keith Calvis for both. Yeah, dude. I love. So I met Mike Andes. I think if I would have met him last year, I would have been a little bit more happier. I feel like he's done with the personal stuff. I think now he's just like gone to just like I don't know, almost like robot business commercial mode where he's just like, maybe if you're a franchisee, you might get a little more personalized out of him. But I think, you know, I was in his Facebook group, but I got out of it because he doesn't, if he posts, he only posts for his, I don't know, what he posts, everybody can't see it, only certain people, and I'm guessing those are franchisees or um, maybe people that pay for his consulting. I don't know, but I just don't think that's cool. So I got out of that. And dude, Keith Kalfas, man, I love listening to his videos because he brings a different perspective. He's all about like the mental aspect of landscaping, and that's so cool. Um, yeah, I think he was the first one like that I would listen to all the time when he had the employee untrapped employee, whatever that was called. That was cool. But yeah, the funny thing is when I first listened to Keith Kalfas, I didn't know he was a landscaper. He was doing a video in his hotel room, and his wife was like in the bathroom at the time, and he just got on there and he's like, "You ever feel like this business is like drowning you or something like that?" And I listened to the whole thing and I was like, "Holy crap, this guy gets it." And then I find out he's like a landscaper, and I was like, "Oh damn, like he totally gets it." So yeah, I really appreciate him. Um, and that's cool with Spencer Lawn Care for entertainment. Yeah, with Spencer Lawn Care, I like that they had that dump trailer with the debris loader going in there. I had a debris loader and I sold it the year before. I saw what he did with his, but I didn't have a dump trailer. I didn't have a dump trailer. If I had a dump trailer, I would have totally done it immediately. I just love the way that he customized that dump trailer with the roof, with the netted roof, with the metal like kind of dome shaped roof, and it was amazing. So I actually just talked to somebody about that yesterday. I think that so I got a guy that he's started his own business, and he's a mobile mechanic. He's not my guy. He's just the guy I'm calling to do a lot of work for me. And I want to make sure that I can pay him enough to get all my stuff done, all my big projects done. And I told him one of the things I have lined up is I've got this dump trailer that I want to make into this debris loading thing for leaf cleanups or to pick up the debris from the flower bed crews. And I was going to send him the video from Spencer Lawn Care to him so we can try and get that going because I really want that this year. So let's see. Yeah, very expensive. It was expensive, but it's not like I dropped the whole 17K right down like that. It was, I bought the plane tickets. I bought the plane tickets back in, I don't know, I want to say November, which was a big cost. I paid half down for the Airbnb immediately upon reserving my spot, which was like 2 months ahead of time. So it's like it was all that 17,000 was spaced out, but I did spend probably eight at the trip. You know what I mean? So like buying food, stuff like that. But it was such a good thing. I was talking to somebody who's I won't say, some of you guys might know, but a lot of money, make a lot of money, and they're older, and they 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 met with me about basically a week before I went on my trip, and I was talking about the trip, and they were like, we just left our what do they call them, like financial advisors, and they were like, the way that we should be spending our money, instead of saving and giving it like to the family, is you should spend a lot of it on these experiences, on vacations, but including them all. You know what I mean? So I thought that made me feel better too, knowing that I was going to spend that much money on the damn trip too. But it was totally worth it. And to be honest with you, it was probably $3,000. When I first decided this is what we're going to do, I thought it was going to be 20,000, like just off the top of my head. Ended up being 17, which it's cheaper than I thought. So but again, planning things out, made it all seem like it wasn't that bad. I love going to cruises, and I refuse to go into a mask with no vaccine requirements. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'm with you on that too, man. I'm about done with the whole mask thing, dude. Um, I really don't get pushed into wearing a mask ever. The only thing I went to Landscape Summit, Mike Andy's thing this January, and that was in Washington, and I can't believe how strict everybody is out there, man. We went to a restaurant, we couldn't even go into the restaurant if we didn't show our vaccine cards. That is insane. Insane. You know, and I'm only saying that because we don't have that here. Like, wear a mask, you don't wear a mask, who cares? Nobody cares out here in Utah, at least in Utah County where I live. I know that some areas of Salt Lake, like downtown Salt Lake, are like that, but I'm sure all major big cities are probably a little more harder on the mask thing. But I don't want to wear that thing, and I didn't know that. So Landscape Summit was cool. They didn't. Nobody said anything about a mask. I didn't. I don't even know if I saw a mask that whole entire event. But going out and about, I was at the grocery store getting some groceries with two guys, and a regular person just walked up to us and like, "Hey, where's your mask?" And we're like, "What?" Like, it's not even. It wasn't even an employee that said that. It was like a worker. Like, I mean, somebody buying food like us. So I thought that was pretty crazy. So thankfully, I don't live in a place that's like that. Um, but anyway, um, I love going. Those big walls are really cool. Yeah, I'm sure you're talking about the dump trailer, Joker. Those big walls are really cool. Um, yeah, I have the same exact trailer. I have the same exact trailer that they have. But I don't have it set up where the door can be taken off and put the debris loader on there, or the ceiling, like the net roof. But yeah, the problem with those big ass walls is your guys think they can fill it up all the way to the top with dirt or something. So I've broken my dump trailer last year because the guys just put so much freaking dirt and rocks in there, and it broke the machine, the pump. So it also was so heavy that the damn hitch broke, snapped. That's how heavy it was. Um, anyway, like all things, it's a learning experience. It took that for my garden foreman to go, okay, we can't fill it up. Now I know that you're telling the truth, you know. So anyway, the canopy, yes, it's called a canopy. I need to put a canopy on mine for the leaves and the debris loader. I'm ready to buy a debris loader if I have to. I just want to make sure that I have somebody that's gonna fab the door and the whole setup. I would love to do the same setup that Spencer Lawn Care did with his trailer. That would be amazing. How may I contact you? Because I have some questions regarding Christmas lighting. So, Forrest, I hate to sound like, things cost money, but if you join my join membership for $99, we'll talk for an hour every single week. If somebody cancels after you or they're not calling, I usually go over. So that's the way to do that. If you do that, let me know through Instagram, my Freddy's Lawn Thumbs. DM me that you did it, and I'll go check, and then I'll get you my cell phone number, and we'll talk every week. Unfortunately, I feel like I have to do that because a lot of my time, like a lot of people blow up my phone, and it's just, I can't do that anymore. I like the picture of the wolf. Yeah. So I got that picture at Yellowstone. Um, Not in the park, outside of the park, but I thought it was really cool. Um, yeah. So let's see. It's now 11:30. And anybody got any last questions? I know I keep saying that, but I'm not ready to go home yet or work on my accounting stuff this second. So does anybody use the software called Monday.com? It's a website that apparently helps you with workflow and getting projects and goals done. So like if you have like goals for social media, for advertising, or for operations or something or projects, you go to Monday.com and I don't know. I just listened to a podcast, and one of the marketing guys uses that with his customers, and I went into it and I thought it's pretty cool. So I signed up. It's free. It's free, and it allows you to, and it looks super professional. I've signed up to a lot of like free things that could help your business, and they look cheap or undone or not good. This is like, it looks good. I just have to figure out how to implement it. But you can share it with other people, kind of like Google Drive kind of thing. So I don't know. I just signed up this morning after I heard a podcast that was basically saying how awesome it was. So the thing is, for me to do these lives, I kind of feel like I want to have a different screen so I can see the the comments, and also still work, do some work. But if I do work on my laptop here, I can't really see the comments. But I almost get tired of staring at myself this whole time too. So anyway, all right, we'll give it 4 more minutes, and I will close this one out today, unless I get to rambling again about something. I'm going to type something in here and say, I started using Monday.com. See what happens. So I put that in the comment just to kind of, I've never made a comment through this. Just want to see how it works. But anyway, guys, season's about to start. It's starting Monday. For us, we're having a kickoff meeting, and then we go on a property on Tuesday. And we have the full week booked for garden and flower bed cleanups and shrub pruning and spring wake-ups. So we are going off and running. Oh, by the way, so let's see. Hold on, I got a message. Can you give info about the weekly thing for 99 again? Yeah. So under my channel, there should be a join button, right? Under my screen. Maybe you see it now. Click that. Select the $99 join membership feature. I don't think I can see it because I'm in the live screen right now. But you do that, and we will talk for an hour every single week. And I'll try and schedule you on Saturdays. I usually do that during these times, earlier in the morning. And we'll book that time every single week. Sometimes I go over, but it all depends on the next person if they're gonna be on time or call. So yeah, we'll book an hour call every single week. That's kind of how the $99 thing works. I also get texts. I'll answer quick texts. So if you have a quick question, some random thing like whatever your question is, and I can answer it really quick on a text, I'll reply to you. I'll reply to that throughout the week. So I'm here to help. The $99, it's just to kind of keep a filter from people constantly. It gets to be too much. It can be too much. Like my phone ringing all the time. So this is a good way to keep it kind of professional. And if you don't want to pay any more from the YouTube, then You don't even need to tell me. It's just not there anymore. So it keeps it clean and good. But yeah, so yeah. Once you do that, you got to tell me on maybe on you got to somehow let me know. So through the comments or something, because I don't get an alert when those come through. And by the way, I don't make a ton of money. I mean, $99. Facebook takes 25 of it, so I'm left with $75. So it's really not a big money maker at all, like at all. I definitely love helping people out, communicating. I also learn stuff too. Like Wilmer, if you sign up to that, I'm sure we're going to start talking, and I'm going to learn something just digging into your business, and I may take that. So I try and give as much as I can because I also am always looking for, better ways of doing things myself too. What Green County fertilizer products are you using in the spring wake up again? I'm thinking of adding it. Okay, so I am no longer doing soil conditioning for the spring wake up package. The reason is I have such a good relationship with the fertilizer company that I refer work to, because they refer a ton of work to us as well, that I think it hurts them. It hurts the fertilizer company if we also provide that soil conditioning with our spring wake up package, because then they don't want it from their fertilizer company. Okay? So to show good faith, so we could keep our harmonious relationship going, I decided to not do the soil conditioning with my spring wake up anymore. So we changed the prices on these things on that service and no longer include it. And we had to update all our marketing material too to take it out of the videos. But if I did, we would do the RGS. I would do 100% RGS. Root growth stimulator is what that's called. But also, if you don't use Green County fertilizer products, if you're only doing soil conditioning, you may want to just do humic acid. Just buy humic acid in a gallon. I think 1 gallon is equivalent. You can mix up to 100 gallons with 1 gallon, I think. I haven't done it in 2 years, so it's kind of going off of memory here. But humic acid, humic, fulvic acid, usually they're mixed together. You pour that in your tank and put 100 gallons in, and you're good. It's a really affordable mix, and I'm huge on soil conditioning. I do that with every single application when I used to do it because I loved it. And RGS is the best. RGS is the best. So if you want highest quality soil conditioner, use RGS. But if you can't get the product because, shipping and all this stuff, go buy a gallon of humic acid, fulvic, open it up, make sure it stinks like hell, and use it. It works great. Yeah, I definitely recommend you add it. So when we were doing that, we would do the power raking, rake it up, mow nice, short, then aerate, and then spray the pellets, the aeration pellets, with soil conditioner at the end. And that's a great service, but like I said, it caused conflict with some of the customers that the other company was having, and we do so many of these that I could see the effect it would have on another company who only does fertilizing. So to keep that relationship going, we just stopped doing it. They didn't ask me to stop doing it. I just think it's the right thing to do to keep them happy and keep us getting more work throughout the year. So, but our non-compete is up in, we can start fertilizing again, and not this year and not next year, but the year after. So I'll be getting back into that game. Maybe. I have plans to, but you never know, right? So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging with me this morning. Appreciate it. And I'll see you when the season starts next week. Oh, yeah, I forget I got to do it up here.